and bring the boys! Yeah!
So here I am at the Crieff Hydro in Scotland. I'm here for the Barbara O'Neill Health Summit. Hopefully I can get a sit down and do a podcast with Barbara. You know, this woman has probably been more censored than myself, so it'll be interesting to see what her views are regarding the COVID vaccines and COVID itself.
So, ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure, the one and only, ladies and gentlemen, Barbara O'Neill!
Hello and welcome to the Bring the Noise podcast. Today this is a pleasure to sit down with the mother of nature. I've got the wonderful Barbara O'Neill, who's in Scotland right now for the Barbara O'Neill Health Summit. Do you want to know why I call it Bring the Noise podcast, Barbara?
No, why do you call it that?
Because every time I speak out regarding my injury to the COVID-19 vaccine, I've been shut down. I confronted the Prime Minister on the television regarding my injury, and I've been speaking out and trying to raise awareness and trying to find as many people as possible who've been harmed by these COVID-19 vaccines. And it has been the worst and most horrible journey I've ever been on in my life.
Yes, I am so sorry to hear that. It is wrong. It should never have happened. And I am just pleased to hear that you are standing out about it, because many are intimidated. Because your journey has been very difficult. I don't know it in detail, but nothing would surprise me. My husband has been attacked immensely because of his heart party. His party is standing for free choice, and he has been attacked and attacked and attacked. And it's just very sad when people stand up and speak truth and want answers that this happens.
Yeah, for me, one of the main reasons I speak out, Barbara, is because I didn't think I'd be here.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to die.
Yeah.
And one of the main reasons I speak out as well is because I was suicidal. Doctors were telling me it was all in my head. And it took me about 2 months to find a decent doctor that reached over and said, I'll make sure I get you better. And do you want to know one of the main reasons I got better? Is because I came off all pharmaceutical drugs.
Yes.
And I went down the natural route. And I'm the evidence that proves that people like yourself and many others that have been speaking out were absolutely correct. But this isn't about me. This is more about you and what you've been doing. I just want to go, obviously I'm more about the COVID-19 vaccine. Yeah. I want to ask you, obviously I know your story in regards to you get chased out of Australia. Were you in Australia at the time when COVID happened?
Yes, I was. I was banned in 2019, and in 2020, our retreat was locked down for 7 months. Michael had a whole schedule for me to speak overseas, but we could not travel. And so I was in Australia, but we are on 450 acres. We're an hour from town. So life went on exactly the same for us, except we didn't have guests.
How bad was Australia at that time?
Australia was pretty bad. You could not go from state to state in some areas. In fact, in one point, it must have been 2021 around Christmas, we were starting to take guests again, and a guest said, I've got a small plane going to Tasmania. Tasmania's a little state at the bottom of Australia, and I have 2 daughters and granddaughters down there. He said, you want to come? And I said, sure do. So I got on this little plane and we went under the radar and we flew into Tasmania. And what we did, you feel almost like criminals. I actually didn't feel like a criminal because it's my right. It's my right to do that. But if I had been discovered, I would have been treated like a criminal. And so we got into Tasmania. The plane landed in a paddock, like a field. And the guy said, go out and get in that car. We got in the car and it drove it to this place. And then we got out and got in another car and went to my daughter's place. Isn't that ridiculous? Just totally ridiculous. So, yes, Australia reacted pretty badly to this.
Because in Scotland, I didn't see a pandemic. Did you see a pandemic? Did you see people dropping in the street, like they said?
No, my husband calls it the great pretend.
It seems that way. It does seem that way, and especially after now, what I have discovered, which is open to the public in the UK inquiry and the Scottish inquiry regarding the protocols they put in place for people that were in hospital with whatever this thing was. I don't even like to give it the name.
Do you know that I had nurses coming to me, work in ICU in America, saying they come in, they're breathless, they're put on remdesivir and the ventilator, and they said they die. They die. The remdesivir gives kidney damage. They die. So one lady, she said, my mother's in hospital. They've given her 5 days to live. She's in her 60s. They're about to put her in remdesivir and on the ventilator. I said, get her out. Yep. Get her out as quickly as possible. They said, what will we do for her breathlessness? I said, get an oxygen cylinder and just give it to her. Do you know, when I was in Canada last year, I met her. She totally recovered.
Why?
She totally recovered because it's a scam. It's just a flu.
Yeah, the flu seemed to have disappeared during the pandemic, but in the UK my understanding is we used midazolam and morphine, which was called the Liverpool pathway, and then they put them on ventilators. Yeah. And so many people, I say to them when they say, well, I lost my partner or husband, I always say, can you request the doctor's notes to see if it was actually that?
That's right. And I have to tell you, I don't know anyone who died from COVID, but I know those who have died from the vaccine. And Michael Griffiths, he's an event organiser in Australia. He lost his job because he refused the vaccine. And he was just surprised at the reaction to his stand. So he does podcasts now. And wherever he goes, he says, you might have a crowd of 500, a crowd of 3,000. He'll say, put your hand up, anyone who knows anyone who died of COVID. And maybe in a crowd of 3,000, 20 people will put their hand up. He says, now put your hand up if you know anyone who's died from the vaccine. 3/4 of the crowd's hands go up. He said wherever he goes, those statistics are the same.
When they spoke about, I say the Jags, because I'll need to edit this because it'll get shut down on YouTube. Okay. I've had over 25 TikTok accounts. Yeah. After I confronted the Prime Minister, they broke in, they hacked my bank account. Well, someone hacked my bank accounts and shut down all my social medias just for speaking out. When it came to the Jags, when they said that we have to vaccinate the whole planet, what were you thinking at this point? I mean, you must have been sitting back going, my God.
I thought this is mad. This is absolutely mad. And I also know they have no right to do that. And I know, and I have been speaking out about this for many, many years now. You see, the childhood vaccinations didn't stop the childhood diseases. It was Florence Nightingale with increase in hygiene, sanitation and nutrition. I don't believe that the vaccines have ever saved anything, not even polio. If you look at the history, it's not true. So just before I left Australia in 2021, late 2021, it had on the news these Indians, and they were very wealthy Indians. They had gold and suits and big offices. We will be the first to vaccinate, the first to vaccinate. And then there were clips of all these vaccines coming out, and they were the first to vaccinate. And then in mid-2022, all over the news, the deaths in India from COVID is out of control. And then I talked to a lady who has a friend who's a doctor in India. He said it's not the COVID that's killing the Indians, it's the vaccines. But that was not on the news. So when people say, how can I prevent myself from getting COVID? I'd say to them, stop watching the news.
Yeah, the fear propaganda machine.
Yes.
You know, one thing I say is, I'm a grown adult. I can tell people if I've been affected by a vaccine. A child can't. A baby can't tell you.
No.
It can't. It has. Honestly, Barbara, if you seen me, I was in a wheelchair. My brain wouldn't function. I couldn't speak. I was having seizures from this thing. I genuinely thought I was going to die. And then I think about children and babies.
Yes. Yes. It's the... This is why my husband started his political party. He said, someone has to do something.
And I seem to be the man in Scotland that wants to do it, and I want to try and change my country. Senator Rennick, an absolutely phenomenal man. I hope he knows that I've been following him. I think he's a fantastic man in Australia for speaking out. And he really is a braveheart, and that's what we need. We need more bravehearts to stand up against this dictatorship that we're all going under.
Do you know what's interesting? Braveheart. Braveheart. Now, we today hail that man as a hero, but at the time they didn't. At the time they didn't. The same thing's happening today. So maybe in another 50 years they'll hail you as a hero, but not today. But not today.
Well, at the end of the day, I've got a hell of a lot of support now, and the amount of people that have been saying hello to me at this event, you know, they're like, John, and it's good that I'm raising awareness, and I need to try and find others, because I just know there's so many others out there that are suffering, not just in Scotland and the UK, but around the world that are suffering. For people that have been affected or have taken this, is there any detox that you would recommend, Barbara?
Yes. Yes, there is. Because it's a mRNA, it'll continue reproducing the spike protein.
Yeah.
Dr. Peter McCulloch, he claims that proteolytic enzymes can certainly cut that down a bit, and proteolytic enzymes can be brought in as papain and bromelain. But also my understanding is that there are a few things that can inhibit the mRNA from reproducing the spike protein. One is dandelion, the other one is zinc, and the other is white pine needle tea. And if someone has had the vaccine, they will need to take one of those for the rest of their life, because this is really not a vaccine. There's never been a vaccine that has mRNA in it to keep reproducing this spike protein. And it's the spike protein, my understanding, is it causes those nanoparticle clots. Nanoparticle is barely measurable, but you get 50 of them together and you've got a little clot. You get 1,000 of them together, maybe you've got a clot the size of a lentil. And what helps with that is the cayenne pepper. And cayenne pepper can thin the blood and can help disperse the clots.
It's I know Dr. John Campbell. I don't know if you know him at all. Dr. John Campbell, he's been speaking out and doing a lot of studies regarding it. And one of his latest videos he's just done, and it shows what it's doing, and I think it's the blood, and it's forming new. He doesn't even know what it is.
Yeah.
they really have done a number on the world. This has ruined the world for, I would say, 70 years plus now.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And you know the incredible thing about the media, I saw on the news women crying because they couldn't get enough vaccines to vaccine their children against COVID. Yeah. And that's what the media did. The media moulded the minds of the masses with Hitler. It moulded the minds of the masses with the Holocaust in Rwanda. It's moulding the minds of the masses now.
I just can't believe we're in 2024 and people can't see they were injected with the biggest lie and the biggest medical scandal in history, because they talk about post office scandals in the UK, blood scandals. This will go down as the biggest medical scandal, and unfortunately I became victim of this.
Yes.
Do you feel that we're in some sort of spiritual war at this point in time, Barbara?
You know, I definitely do. I definitely do. And that's what I love about the Bible. It sweeps the curtain aside and it talks about the enemy of soul. It describes the devil as a roaring lion walking about seeing whom he can devour. And that's why our only hope is to hold on to God, because the Bible says there was war in heaven, but Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought with his angels and prevailed not. Michael is another name for Jesus. And in Daniel chapter 12 verse 1, the Bible says, "And at that time shall Michael stand up, that great prince that stands for the children of thy people." Do you know, we have a mighty warrior in Jesus. And sometimes it looks terrible, but you know, he has a plan. He has a plan. And he gave every single person on the planet free choice. And that free choice explains a lot of the problems we see today. And that's why I push. God's government is a government of freedom. It's based on free choice. Don't let anyone take away your free choice. And they took away your free choice by deceiving you with propaganda that you needed those shots.
I'm just going to wrap this up because I know how tight we are for time. Barbara O'Neill, you're an absolute inspiration of a woman. We need more Barbara O'Neills in this world, in this country, for people to stand up. Listen to this woman. Why are we all trying to shut down people that are trying to help others and trying to just do the right thing? Because it's what got me better was mainly natural. I don't do this for likes. I don't do it for anything other than trying to raise awareness and trying to find many more that are out there that are suffering heart issues, rheumatoid arthritis, turbo cancers. The list is endless. But Barbara, honestly, this has been an absolute pleasure for you doing this. If you were to send a positive message to the world, what would it be?
The message to the world is the power of one. You and you alone can make a stand. You can make a stand, and my suggestion is go to God. Go to God and ask God, because it says in the Bible he can do exceedingly abundantly above all that we ask or think, but be true to yourself. And that's what Shakespeare said, above all things to thyself be true. Look after yourself. Give your body the right conditions, and if they want to give you something, take it, look at it and say, thank you for your advice, I'll seriously consider it, but don't let anything come into your body that's going to harm it. Investigate, 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 and stand true.
Amen. Well, I really appreciate you for giving me the time to do this. You're an absolute inspiration, and honestly, we bring the noise, Barbara, globally, not just in Scotland. But honestly, thank you and God bless you, Barbara O'Neill.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure speaking with you, John.
Thank you.
So how's it going, everybody? So obviously it's been a fantastic week at the Barbara O'Neill Health Summit, and obviously I've managed to get an opportunity to sit down with Barbara O'Neill, and I've obviously spoke to her husband as well, but it's just been a fantastic week sitting down with Barbara and getting her story. But if you have enjoyed this podcast, please make sure that you like and subscribe and you share worldwide, and let as many people know about the harms of these jags, and let as many people know the truth, and that's all we can keep doing. Thank you.